Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Season 2, Episode 7 of The Walking Dead World Beyond just came out today on AMC Plus, and this was such a, like, I don't know, it's a really good episode. It was really good thriller. Got a couple major, like, reveals, a big-time death, like, not, like, luckily not anyone that we care too much about, but before we get into that, spoiler warning if you guys haven't seen the episode, but we got the setup for some character reveals here. Um, yeah, and, like, kinda where the show's going, so subscribe if you guys are in The Walking Dead in general, World Beyond specifically for because we got a few more episodes till it's the series finale, so looks like things are probably gonna be getting set up really quickly for that, and yeah, just a reminder, I am trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you would like to join me on the journey and you like Walking Dead content, be sure to subscribe because we got more of that coming out. And after this video, we'll have the Fear the Walking Dead episode that dropped today on AMC Plus. We'll be getting a review out for that as well, probably about an hour or two after this one goes up. So if you're part of the early squad, be sure to check that out as well. And yeah, so mainly this episode was um the vile, like, how do I am stumbling my words, I'm sorry, but like getting ahead of myself. Long story short, this episode is Dr. Bennett is trying to, like, kinda keep he's getting questioned about the missing vial, and Lila's trying to cover it up in a way, and it ends up coming full circle at the end where she kinda just rats them out, but, like, we get a bunch of, like, back and forth, and, like, he's saying the same story, and, like, Huck has to play both sides of, like, being if she blows her cover, she's no good to the group, but she could also be the reason why the group ends up being, like, suspicious, so, like, she's gotta play this really fine line. And in the meantime, like, Iris and Hope had this big argument because Hope tells Lila where she hid the vial so that way she could go get it to try to cover up the tracks. And yeah, that all ends up like boiling over when Lila just is like, yeah, it was just me. We also have Jadis and Silas's interaction, which is kind of cool because like she ends up giving him one more chance and she like sees something different. And he said like it's kind of weird living in a junkyard, and she's kind of like smirks because remember she had the old junkyard community, and like yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, all that's kind of winding up. There's like this search where Hope and Iris are about to get found inside of Lila's lab, and we find out what Lila's doing with that. So basically, this chemical compound may be what's stopping people from reanimating, and that's what they're testing. They got to be testing on them when they're dying, so they can see what changes and all that. But we have this really crazy thing that I just don't think would have worked out. And if I was in the place of Iris and Hope, and I had all those soldiers looking for me while I was underneath the test subjects, yeah, they found me. I mean, straight up, they would have found me. But anyways, like when Lila reveals that basically like she's like, yeah, they stole it, but I think we need to keep him fine because he can be vital to like if he works with me openly, we can get this figured out and blah blah blah. And I think I'm having a breakthrough because she had a walker that hadn't turned for 8 hours. Well, a dead body that hadn't turned to a walker for 8 hours. So Jade is seen as this as an opportunity for her to talk herself up to Major General Beale is a little bit interested. So when they go to see the test subject, we see it's reanimated into a walker, and that was also one of the old CRM soldiers. And like she was like, or he was begging Lila not let him die when that was happening, and she just muted the cell. And basically, Jadis had Huck cut the restraints of that walker and locked her in the room and cut the sound. And earlier in the when Lila was telling Hope and Iris about like why they're trying to do this because eventually they had like the rat running from the walker, which I believe was the first test subject we've seen in episode 1 of the season. Um, eventually the rat gets tired and gets caught, and so Jadis basically quoted that as saying Lila would get tired after a while and the walker would get her. Then we so after that, like some real major stuff stopping. So Jadis is like, well, if your mom had any, and she's talking to Huck, by the way, Jennifer. If your mom had any doubts like about your loyalty, she'd be happy to know like what you did today would help clear any of those doubts or any of that. And basically, Jadis brings her up. Well, it was what that V stand for, Project something. I can't remember what it was called, but Project V. Jadis brings her more up to speed about it, not necessarily like every little detail, but more up to speed about it. And with that, we discover that Omaha is definitely going to be destroyed. 87,000 people. So we see Huck. Well, actually, before that, Huck goes home. Percy was supposed to go find Huck to try to figure out what to do from the beginning of the episode, but Huck was with lead interrogator and stuff. Well, Percy wants to kill Huck, but um, Huck's like, you know what, you can go ahead and you'll save me a whole lot of trouble because there's something going on that you can't stop, I can't stop, none of us can stop, and it basically drops the bombshell about how Portland is it Portland? I believe it's Portland. Is about to get devastated. 87,000 people, and so basically Percy brings that news back to Iris and um, Leo and all them, as well as Huck goes on a little side trip at night and goes and sees Dennis at the junkyard. And we also get the stare down of Silas and Huck because you remember what happened last time that they were together. Um, but yeah, so it looks like Dennis might help Huck if Huck decides to try to find a way to stop this whole big thing from happening. So yeah, that's like one of the crazy things. So like Lila was a fairly major death for the show. Like there isn't that many characters we're following on the show. So like she was in most of this season. So I'd say it's a slightly major character, not one that we necessarily care about, but been major to the story. I mean, I'm kind of happy she's dead, and I'm sure a lot of people who are watching, no one really stand her. So major character death, but not one that we're sad over. I think we can agree to that. Um, so yeah, we know like a major plot point. This is obviously where the finale's going to, is something to do with them trying to stop Portland from happening. But we also get a we haven't seen Major General Beale whatsoever at all. And what's really crazy, so earlier in the episode, Hope tells Mason like I'll meet you back in the bunker because that's where she had the vial, but he didn't know about that. And she was using that as an excuse, so they're hanging out that night because that's what she used. Oh, I was coming to see you, see if you want to hang out later. Well, then they're chilling, talking, getting to know each other a little bit. And the major bombshell is he was talking about how his dad would be upset that he didn't take him full on the military place. Like he doesn't think the book smarts is a thing. She's like, "Oh, your dad's military? Oh, I thought you knew. He's Major General Beale." And from what I understand, that's the main motherfucker that's leading all the stuff for the military. So now she's probably gonna look at him differently, kind of like how Leo started looking differently at Lila. So like, yeah, and I wonder if Leo knows that Lila died to a walker in that cell. That's another thing I'm thinking of. But anyways, yeah, we had Lila's death. We had we don't know what Major General Beale looks like yet, but we do get a good reference at who he is. And I don't think we've seen any like Easter eggs where maybe Mason has had a family picture somewhere. We might have seen him, might have not. I'm not sure. But then we also know that they're gonna try to destroy. Well, I mean, the CRM is gonna destroy Portland. It's gonna be can our group, can our characters stop this from happening? I think Huck's about to be like going major on the good guy side. That's my guess. Dennis is gonna get involved for sure. I mean, we're gonna be get. We didn't have any Will or Elton this episode, anything to do with the perimeter. So I'm sure they're going to be playing a role, and yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to think less likely. Well, maybe a bit. So I'll have to watch the preview more. But maybe I won't say this till next episode. I was going to say it's less likely that the perimeter group was the one that Michonne went to in The Walking Dead, based off what I've seen. But maybe we'll get some more. Maybe we'll see if that alliance gets to stay up or what's going to go on. But anyways, what do you guys think about the episode? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you're in the Walking Dead content. And yeah, I'm going to start watching Fear here in a moment. And I'll start working on the video after that. And you guys should see these up both on Sunday night. So we'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy. Peace, peace.